Hey lovely people, welcome back to another crochet video, and today I'm going to be talking about my 10 favorite crochet projects I have ever done. Alright, so this video took a minute of research of me scrolling through my Instagram stories, my photos, looking through works that I have in my closet, just trying to create a compact list of the top 10 favorite crochet projects I have created. And I have my little list here. I'm very excited to show you my top 10 list. And some of them, I do have to put a disclaimer that I no longer have them, so I can't show you the physical item. Most of what I create is meant to be sold because I am running a business. So I don't have the physical item anymore, but I can show you pictures and videos that I have taken. A few of them I still have and are not for sale just because of how long they took, and I love them. So they will not be for sale, as well as a few that I have patterns for or tutorials for or will in the future. So lots of information, but let's just get in right to it. So I feel it's only proper for me to start with an honorable mention because as I was creating my list, I really wanted to include this one, but it's a little bit of a controversial piece. And the reason is because it is only half crochet. The other half I made on a knitting machine, but it's so cute and I love it so much. I had to include it in this video. So here's my honorable mention. It is this adorable frilly top that I made. So the actual panels themselves were made with a knitting machine, as you can kind of see. And then the embellishments, the sleeves, the ribbons, things like that were hand crocheted by me. It's probably the fastest garment I've ever made and the first thing I made on a knitting machine. So lots of new things. Are there some issues? Absolutely. But I love it and I honestly wear it. I wear it pretty often. It's pretty warm now, so haven't been wearing it now. But I love this piece and I know it's controversial. It's not all crochet, but I love it all the same and it had to be included. Right, kicking off the actual list with number 10. So number 10 is a very simple piece. It's not much to look at, but I love it so much because of the story that I have to go with it. So if you've been following me for a little bit, you have probably seen my Pride bees. These are something that I created back in 2020, and I know it's not very original. People have been doing it for who knows how long, but one that I created first was this pansexual bee. It was right after I had learned to crochet in the pandemic and I loved it. I was so proud of it and I decided to post it on TikTok and you guys could not get enough. You kept asking me for more and more flags, and that's kind of how Canvas and Chamomile came to be. Before I was selling resin pieces and some paintings, but I was making very little money, getting very few sales. And once I started adding Pride products to my shop, which if you look at it now, has a lot of Pride products, and it was kind of by accident. It all started because of this bee. And if you looked at any of my banners or my branding designs, you will probably see that in almost all of them there is a little bee somewhere floating around in the design, and that is kind of to pay homage to the bees that started it all. They kind of really launched my business and I'm so grateful for them. And though my business has taken a little bit of a turn away from that, I still love it so much and it had to be included. Number 9. Number 9 is another simple piece. It is something you have probably seen on the socials, something you might have even seen in shops, but it is one of my favorite pieces that I've made because I wear it a lot and I think it's super cute and I've had so many compliments on it. Out of all the things that I've created that I've worn, this is probably the one I've gotten the most compliments on. I'm thinking of creating a tutorial so that you can make it as well. So if you're interested in that, just let me know in the comments. But the next one on our list is this froggy bucket hat. It is one of the first bucket hats that I learned to make, and I just love it so much. I wore this the other day, actually. I wear it all the time because frogs are one of my favorite animals, and I mean, look at it. It's so cute. I'm also working on one that's a bear, but like the same idea with the ears, and this would be the face. So I'm thinking of making a tutorial. Let me know if you think that that would be fun, but I love this so much. Wait, let me try it on. It's so cute. I love it. It's one of my favorites. All right, number 8. Number 8 is another garment that I have made for myself, and it is something that I got a lot of inspiration from Instagram from. You may have seen a design very similar from this creator on Instagram. Go follow them, they have so many amazing pieces. So it was inspired by them, but they hadn't created a pattern yet for their top. So I decided I was gonna make it myself. And it was probably the most challenging garment I have made for myself. And the reason is because it has so many pieces. Let me just show you what it is. It is this tulip top. These are meant to be little tulips. I made this about a year ago. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's different panels. It's meant to look a little bit like a corset top. So it has a lot of moving pieces. And there are definitely some execution flaws. And that's okay. That's part of the process of creating and crocheting and making your own patterns. It is definitely too big. And the tulips were meant to be like cups, but the way that it was stitched onto the bodice, they lay a little bit higher on my chest. So it doesn't look exactly the way I wanted it to in my vision, and I definitely got very lazy at the end, and there's lots of ends that I never weaved in because I got annoyed. But if you're a crocheter, you probably have a stack of unfinished products, and if you don't, I just exposed myself to the world. But I'm hoping that I'm not the only one that relates to that, where you have a pile of unfinished products and projects that you have tried to work on but just haven't finished. And for me, I almost gave up on this piece many, many times because it was just not working the way I wanted it to, and there was a lot of math and things involved that weren't very fun, but I stuck with it and I finished it. And though it is not something I wear very often and it's not higher on the list, I'm still incredibly proud of it. What number are we on? 7. When it comes to crocheting, I am primarily a plushie artist. I love plushies. I have a collection of them, and making them just kind of heals my inner child, and I love it so much. So a lot of these additions to the list are going to be plushies, just because that's mostly what I make and I love them so much. But number 7 is going to be this adorable little silly leggy frog that I created. Though he's relatively simple, I adore him. I no longer have him. He has been sold. One of my close friends actually owns him now. He lives in their car, and they bought it at one of my markets, and they said, he looks so silly and stupid, I must have him. So I just love this little guy. It was one of those creations where you make it and then you have to show like everyone you know. I went to show my parents and my friends. I was like, look at this silly, ridiculous creation I have created. I love him so much. And I've been working on a pattern for him, so it will be out soon. So you can create something just like him and something equally ridiculous. The pattern was supposed to already be out, but when I was making my notes for the original frog, I wrote them down wrong, so I have to start over. But it will be out soon, and I will let you guys know when it is posted, so stay tuned. But that is number 7. I love him so much. Late last year, I was accepted to vend at an anime con, which was my first big vending event that I had participated in. And to prepare for that, I made a lot of animated and video game related items, including several plushies. And though this one is not from necessarily an anime, it is a very notable character, and that leads us to number 6. Number 6 is going to be this My Melody plushie. She has not sold yet, so I do still have her. I love her. I made several Sanrio plushies for this event, and she is my all-time favorite. She is also a kid's favorite when they come to my tables at events. They will say, "Oh, My Melody." So I just love her. I love her little details, her little flower, or her little bow, her little face. And I don't know, I just love her so much. She's so cute. She had to be included on the list. And it was also one of my first times working with sparkly yarn. So I think she gets extra points for the sparkles, personally. We're officially halfway through the list. We have reached number 5. To this day, this is the biggest crochet project I have ever taken on and actually completed. I have many that live up in my head that have not come to fruition yet. But this one actually came true. And it's different than all of the other pieces I have showed you so far because the other ones were my own patterns. This one I actually followed a YouTube tutorial for, and it took me months to create. And though I don't wear it very often, it is the biggest piece I've ever created and therefore has to be included on the list. It is this beautiful big cardigan. I'll try it on for you in just a second. Okay, look at her. She's so cute. The sleeves are a little too long and when I was creating the top, I did not account for my hips. So this was supposed to be sewn together, but I decided not to, and it still turned out super cute. This piece was very early on in my crochet journey, and it's still so beautiful. I'm really proud of it. I've been asked if I would ever sell it, and the materials alone cost me about $60 plus months of work, so it would have to be like $200, and I feel like that's not great for a cardigan. But she's adorable, and I love to wear her in autumn because of the pretty color palette. So number 4 is tied. I could not choose between these two items because they're very similar, and I created them for one commissioner around the same time. So they have to stand together. I'm sorry, we're gonna have a tie for number 4. And here it is. Number 4 is going to be these two plushies. So last year I had a commissioner ask me if I could create a Chucky plushie, which was something I had never done before. And I know that I say that a lot, but when you're crocheting things like this from scratch without using patterns, everything you do, really, for the most part, you've never done before, and you're treading a new path. So I was really intimidated by specifically the hair on this. I'd never done hair before, but I actually came up with a technique and it worked so well. I was so proud of myself. So I love him so much. But I also love Ghostface. A few months after I created Chucky, the same commissioner asked me if I could create Ghostface. And they had actually purchased a pattern for this plushie, something similar, and they sent it to me, but I don't like using patterns, so I came up with my own. And there were many moments where I was very concerned. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. How am I gonna do this? But I ended up making it work. And I'm really proud of how the hood came out, because that was the main thing where I was like, I don't know how to do this. We're just gonna have to figure it out. But I love how it came out, and I don't know if this makes sense, but when you hold that plushie, it just feels so like solid and soft and nice. I don't know. It's like that new plushie feeling, but I really got it from this specific plushie. I loved it so much. So I'm very proud of both of these. And they're so similar and made by the same commissioner that I had to just add them both as number 4. So number 3 is something that I feel like is a little less than the last few that I've showed you. It's a little bit more on the simple side, but it's something that I created very recently and just immediately fell in love with. I love him so much I've considered keeping him, but this is going to be number 3. So number 3 is this mushroom boy that I made. And though he looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy, I am very proud of him. There were many moments specifically in his cap that I did not know what I was doing. Originally, when I added his cap, it stuck straight up, so it looked like a chef's hat, and I had to sew it down, and I almost gave up on him a few times, but look how cute he is. I love him so much. He's so cute. And I have made another mushroom before, and this is him. And I think this is why he goes so high on the list, is because this is where he started, and this is his like next generation, I guess. And I think that he has come a long way, and I'm proud of myself and of him. He's so cute. We've reached number 2. So leading up to that final reveal, I have another silly project I worked on, one where I showed my mom what I was doing and she giggled for like 20 seconds straight. So here is number 2. Number 2 is this wiener dog scarf. So I had to learn how to switch colors very often, which was something I've done many times before, but to this depth, it was an experience. It was very different. And he just continues until we reach his butt, which I still have to cut off this thread. I also want to block him, and I just got a steamer, so I'm excited to block him. I've never blocked a single piece before. If you don't know what blocking is, basically when you wet the fibers of your piece and set them out nice and flat so that they have the ability to kind of loosen the fibers so it's not so stiff and it won't have these weird bends in it. So I'm excited to start that, but he's so funny, and sadly I finished him like right as winter was ending. I wanted to create hand warmers and leg warmers to go with him, maybe a hat, but we'll save it for next winter when he can have lots of accessories. I'm so excited for him to wear next winter. We have reached it. We have reached number 1. When I first decided to create this video, number 1 was a no-brainer for me. It was the first project that came to my head, and I immediately knew that would be number 1. This is a project I spent weeks working on, kind of obsessively at some moments. I was like, I cannot wait to get home from work so I can create and finish this piece. Now, is she totally finished? Is up for debate, because I have considered adding to her, but for now, this is her form. Let me show you her. It's Nessie. She's freaking huge. This is the biggest plushie I have ever crocheted, and it's also the first weighted plushie I've ever crocheted. She's actually filled with rice. I believe she's about 3.5 pounds. I haven't weighed her, but I'm justifying it as about 3 to 5 pounds. I love her so much. She's so cuddly. I made her out of a very fuzzy yarn that I hadn't worked with before, and she is just everything. She was inspired by this Instagram creator. They make so many amazing things and inspire me every day. I love her so much. I did in fact create my own pattern for her. I'm working on a second one, so I hope I will love that one as much as I love her. She has little closed eyes and ears. Her little spots are this like velvet yarn. Her little flippers are adorable, and then her tail has a little flower on it, which is very squishy. I love her so much. She's literally my favorite. I cuddle with her all the time. I have pretty bad anxiety, so I wanted to create something that was going to feel like it was hugging me. So that's why I made her weighted, and her head is just like a perfect cuddling form, and then this perfect little star. So she's adorable, and I could leave her this way. However, I think it would be so cute if I added little flowers kind of growing off her back to make it look like she's like moss almost, and then she has little flowers growing off of her. I don't know if I have the patience for it, but that's what my brain has been saying I should do. But this is number one, and I am so incredibly proud of her. She's just my all-time favorite. I love her so much. It's gonna be hard to top this number one. So that is my top 10 favorite crochet projects I have ever done. And of course there will be millions more that I create. So there might have to be an update to this video at some point in the future because my numbers are gonna change at some point. Though I don't know how Nessie is gonna be topped out of number one. Maybe the next Nessie, we'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was the first one I had done kind of like this, showing my different crochet projects. So if you like it, please let me know, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.